Usually, when someone's summoned into another world, their class turns out to be a hero, and their destiny is to save the world from the demon lord. But Oda Akira isn't that kind of guy. He's the kind of person people forget is even there. His quiet, unassuming nature, though, turns out to be his greatest strength. Because when his entire class gets swept away into a fantasy world, Akira slips easily into a new role, one nobody expected, the silent assassin. Our story begins on a stormy night. Somewhere in the darkness, an assassin was on a mission, his blade ready for blood. But then, a chill ran down his spine. He felt a presence behind him, a presence so silent, so suffocating, that his instincts screamed danger. When he turned, he saw him, the silent assassin. Realizing escape was impossible, the assassin drew his weapons and attacked. Needles flew through the rain, but Akira's body moved faster than sight. He used a skill to evade them, leaping down from the shadows. Their blades clashed on a rooftop, sparks flying between raindrops. In a single motion, Akira disarmed his opponent, but the assassin quickly drew a hidden dagger and lunged. Yet the moment the blade should have connected, Akira vanished. A heartbeat later, he appeared behind him. What followed wasn't a fight, it was a dismantling. Akira broke his leg, stabbed his elbow, and before the man could even scream, his own blade returned to finish him. With the threat eliminated, Akira moved swiftly into the mansion. Inside, his target slept peacefully, unaware of the shadow closing in. The silent assassin raised his blade, ready to strike. Then time seemed to rewind. We go back to before Akira ever came to this world, in an ordinary classroom. Students were chatting and laughing. Tsukasa, the class president, was busy with his paperwork, while the kind-hearted Shirori helped others with theirs. Nearby, Asahina noticed Akira quietly reading a light novel. Nane sneaked up behind him and asked what he was reading. Without looking up, Akira said he just read whatever he could find for free. Nane asked him to recommend something good next time, then left. To Akira, conversations always felt like mini-crises, but the real crisis was just about to begin. Suddenly, Akira's phone glitched, and a glowing magic circle appeared beneath the entire class. In an instant, the room was gone. When they opened their eyes, they were standing in a grand castle. A voice echoed, and an old man appeared, telling them the king wished to speak. Before long, he introduced himself as the ruler of the Retais Kingdom, the largest nation on the human continent of Morrigan. He explained that the kingdom was at war with the demon lord, and that only a hero summoned from another world could save them. Akira's mind went blank. He'd read this exact setup in countless stories, but never thought he'd live one. To identify the hero among them. Each student was told to place their hand on a magic crystal and silently think the word status. The first student tried it and got the class animal trainer. The second, Yuki disenchanter, another one Tomoya, got knight. Shirori turned out to be a healer. The old man explained that everyone could see their own status without the crystal as well. Nanes checked and got wind mage. Curious, he asked Akira about his. Reluctantly, Akira replied that he was an assassin. But when Akira looked at his stats, something didn't add up. His numbers were far higher than anyone else's. His skill conceal presence was already maxed out. Finally, Tsukasa, the class president, stepped up. When he touched the crystal, the words, "chosen hero," appeared, and everyone cheered. It made sense. Tsukasa was smart, athletic, popular. The old man praised him, noting that even at level 1, his attack power was double that of ordinary people, but Akira couldn't focus. His anxiety grew as he realized his own stats were far beyond even Tsukasa's. Something was wrong. Not wanting to draw attention, he quietly activated Conceal Presence. Even Nanes, standing beside him, couldn't sense him anymore. When everyone finished, they were escorted to their rooms for the night. Still cloaked, Akira followed at a distance. On the way, he noticed something hidden in the ceiling, a small orb. A surveillance camera. His suspicions deepened. The king was hiding something. But what Akira didn't know was that someone had already sensed him despite his concealment. In his room, Akira found a set of clothes and basic supplies. Deciding to investigate, he slipped out into the night. For the first time, he saw the city beneath the stars, beautiful, alien, alive. He scaled a tower and used his concealment to eavesdrop on the king and the princess. He heard the king ordering her never to let the heroes near the royal archives, lest they learn too much. After the princess left, Akira considered assassinating him right there. But in the end, he couldn't. He lowered his blade and disappeared into the night. The next morning at breakfast, Akira thought about revealing everything he'd overheard, but decided against it. Nobody would believe him. Then Tsukasa stood up, announcing that since they'd already been summoned, he wanted to grow stronger and defeat the demon lord. The others agreed without hesitation. Akira couldn't believe how blindly they trusted the king. Later that day, they were introduced to their instructors, the Knight Commander, Saran Matrai, and his vice, Gillis. Saran informed them that in 1 month, they'd enter the great labyrinth of Cantonin. Until then, they would train. But while the others sparred, Akira slipped away to gather more intel. That it didn't take long before Saran found him. Out for a walk? He asked casually. Akira froze. His concealment was still active. How could this man see him? Saran smiled and explained that his eyes could perceive heat signatures. He assured Akira that he wouldn't report him to the king. Curious and cautious, Akira asked why. Saran sighed and said it was complicated. When Akira admitted he wanted to learn more about this world, its magic, its skills, Saran agreed to teach him. In exchange, he wanted to hear about Akira's world, and so their secret mentorship began. While Gillis oversaw the other students' training, Saran personally trained Akira, testing, refining, and pushing him beyond limits. One night, Gillis confronted Saran, annoyed that he was spending all his time on Akira. Saran revealed that Akira's concealed presence was maxed out, a feat only achieved once before by the first hero. Gillis was stunned. Right then, Akira entered, holding an old book. He handed it to Saran, explaining he'd found it in the royal archives. When Saran opened it, he smiled faintly. It was one of his own, disguised as a cookbook. Inside were encrypted plans for a coup. Saran's expression turned grim. He told Akira that the king was trying to rewrite the world's laws, a pursuit that would demand unimaginable sacrifice. But the knights owed a blood debt to the royal family, leaving Saran powerless to act. Akira then confessed that on the night of their summoning, he tried to kill the king but couldn't go through with it. Saran commended him, saying that sparing a life was the right choice. Even if his class was assassin, he wasn't bound to kill. Akira felt a strange relief. For the first time, he admitted he didn't want to return to his world as a murderer. When Akira asked why Saran was helping him, Saran replied, "Because you didn't just go with the flow. You questioned the story." Akira felt embarrassed by the praise. Saran chuckled and joked that Akira could help him with his coup before going home. Time passed quickly. After a month, their training came to an end, and the heroes were sent to challenge the great labyrinth of Cantonin. The people of Retais gathered to cheer them on, but Akira felt a piercing gaze from the crowd. He followed it and found a cloaked girl glaring at him. When he asked why, she replied coldly that heroes knew nothing of the sacrifices made to summon them. Then she leaves, saying to find her after he discovered the truth for himself. Inside the labyrinth, the group fought hordes of monsters. When one student accidentally triggered a trap, even more enemies flooded in. Akira urged retreat, and Saran agreed. Channeling divine power into his blade, he unleashed a flash of holy lightning that carved a path for escape. But as they fled, another horde appeared. Remembering the smoke bomb the princess had given him, Tsukasa threw it to keep the monsters away, but instead, it summoned something far worse, a towering minotaur. When Akira and the others arrived, they found Tsukasa wounded. Akira rushed in, dodging the beast's attacks and striking its neck, but his dagger shattered against its hide. He fell back, barely landing on his feet. Tsukasa tried to stand, insisting he must protect them as the hero, but Akira stopped him. "We've trained for a month," he said. "You're not alone anymore." Tsukasa faltered, burdened by guilt. Akira quickly ordered Yuki to use her dispel magic on him. When she did, a dark curse broke free from Tsukasa's body. Akira shouted, then ran to Saran. "It's time," he said. Saran smirked, drew his sword, and raised it high. "Then let's end this." He called upon his divine skill, lightning's flash, striking the Minotaur with a blinding surge of power. And as the monster's body convulsed in paralysis, Akira vanished into its shadow, activating his own skill, shadow magic. And from that moment on, the silent assassin finally embraced his name. Akira activates his shadow magic, and a dark figure appears at his feet. He channels it into the Minotaur, piercing the beast all over its body before reeling it into the darkness. But then, Akira's magic suddenly goes out of control. His own shadows surge violently, threatening to consume him. Just as he starts to lose control, Saran appears and helps stabilize his power. Once the storm calms, Akira thanks him for the assist. Back from the dungeon, Saran and Akira discuss the strange nature of his shadow magic. Saran admits he's never heard of such a skill before. It's powerful, but incredibly unstable. Akira agrees, acknowledging how hard it is to control. Setting that aside, Saran presents him with a katana forged by the first hero. Since the current hero already wields a holy sword, he wants Akira to have something worthy. More importantly, he warns him to hide it well, because he stole it straight from the royal armory. Akira draws the blade and sees the name engraved on it, Yado no Kami, alongside a message wishing that the sword finds its successor and guides him in his hour of need. Akira then informs Saran that the curse afflicting the hero still refuses to be dispelled. Hearing that, Saran's expression darkens. He already suspects who the cursor might be. That night, the princess stands before a cursed object, whispering venom at Tsukasa, calling him a false hero. Suddenly, Akira appears behind her, destroys the object, and seizes it. The princess demands to know why he entered her chambers uninvited, but Akira points his blade at her throat, telling her no true lady uses curses. Only a witch does. When he demands to know why she's doing it, she answers coldly that everything she does is for the king. Seeing no benefit in pressing further, Akira retreats. After he leaves, the princess reveals several more curse objects hidden across the room, each targeting someone else. Meanwhile, Akira brings the destroyed curse to Saran, frustrated that the king still hasn't given up. He tells Saran that even after confronting the princess, risking his own identity, she wouldn't give a straight answer. Saran sighs, revealing that the princess is just a pawn to the king now. He warns Akira not to stay in the castle that night, since she'll likely curse the rest of their classmates next. Hearing that, Akira wishes his real world had people like Saran. Half-jokingly, Saran says Akira should take him there when he returns home, making Akira immediately take it back with a smirk. The next morning, Akira wakes to the sound of chaos outside. He rushes out to see Tsukasa standing over a lifeless body, Commander Saran's. Akira is frozen in shock. Before he can process it, his classmates start accusing him of murder, claiming the dagger used to stab Saran is his. Akira argues that his dagger shattered in the dungeon, but no one listens. He quickly realizes that the princess's curse has taken hold of them. Even Tsukasa tries to defend him, but the king declares Akira guilty and orders his execution. Realizing he's been set up, Akira vanishes using his concealment skill and escapes the knights. He then seeks out Vice Captain Gillis, who informs him that the Real killers are the king's assassins, the Night Ravens, and that they're now hunting him. Gillis tells him to take the provisions Saran left behind and flee the kingdom. With a heavy heart, Akira gathers Saran's belongings and leaves the kingdom behind. That night, the princess reports to the king that she's successfully cursed everyone except the hero, and that they're now ready to declare war on the east. The king orders her to send the Night Ravens after Akira to ensure he's eliminated. Meanwhile, Akira hides deep within the dungeon, remembering Saran's advice that it's the safest place to vanish. He recalls their conversations about how the monsters grow stronger with each level and how concealment won't fool beasts with heightened senses. Day after day, Akira trains relentlessly, honing his assassination skills and pushing deeper underground to reach level 100. Every 10 floors, he faces a powerful boss, often getting knocked down, but always rising again. Using his shadow magic, he overwhelms them one by one. Eventually, exhaustion catches up, and he collapses. Just before losing consciousness, he hears a strange voice disabling his magic and healing his body. Meanwhile, back at the kingdom, Tsukasa gathers his cursed classmates and insists they leave the city. Most refuse, still under the princess's control. Only Asahina, Yuki, and Cheyenne agree to follow. Others followed afterwards too. Surprisingly, they encounter no resistance when leaving. Tsukasa asks why they chose to come, and Yuki explains that everyone who followed him seems to be free from the curse. Asahina adds that his hazy memory recalls breaking crystal shards in an unfamiliar room while holding a katana, though he has no idea where it came from. From the shadows, Gillis watches the heroes group depart, relieved that his manipulation magic was strong enough to free them. Asahina, however, quietly regrets not siding with Akira. Curse or not, a flashback shows Asahina returning home from school, stumbling upon Akira working at a construction site. Akira begs him to keep it secret, especially from his sister, who attends the same school as a first year. Asahina agrees and is shocked to learn Akira even has a sister. When he shows Akira a picture of his own, both are surprised to find that their sisters are actually friends. Deep within the dungeon, Akira awakens, surprised to feel no pain. He checks his status window and is stunned. His HP is nearly full, and his shadow magic has jumped from level 3 to 5. Though confused, he presses onward, descending to floor 75. There, a slime suddenly drops from the ceiling. Akira reacts instantly, slashing it apart, only to watch an elf girl emerge from its dissolving body. He activates a new skill called World Eyes, and a flood of information pours into his mind. The data surge nearly overwhelms him, forcing him to cancel the skill before his head explodes. The elf awakens, disoriented. Akira notes that her HP is critically low, barely 2%, and that she possesses the same skill as him. When she asks where they are, he tells her they're on floor 75 before she collapses again. Concerned, Akira carries her to a safer spot on floor 69. Later, she wakes up starving. Akira smiles and offers her water, then food, which she devours like she hasn't eaten in days. When she finishes, she asks why they're on floor 69 instead of 75. Akira explains that he moved her closer to a water source. She warns him not to touch her inappropriately since she's of royal blood, and Akira quickly assures her he's not interested, telling her to get some rest. They'll need it tomorrow. The next day, they travel together, helping each other clear floors until they reach level 80. There, they find the boss chamber and enter. Inside awaits a massive dragon. The elf uses gravity magic to restrain it while Akira conceals his presence. To strike, but the dragon senses him and sends him flying. The elf shouts for him to diffuse his mana to avoid detection. Not fully understanding, Akira improvises. He manipulates the surrounding shadows, confusing the dragon before striking from above. The final blow lands clean, and the dragon collapses. Impressed, the elf asks how he did it, and Akira replies that he simply drew power from the ambient mana around them. She's stunned that he can even do that. But before they can rest, the dragon's body begins to glow, signaling that their next challenge is just about to begin. The dragon shifts form, its massive frame collapsing inward until what remains is a giant blue cat. Amelia activates her world eye, and the truth becomes clear. The creature is a shapeshifter. That explains everything. A true dragon wouldn't have gone down so easily. Akira watches her in awe, impressed by how naturally she wields that skill. Amelia tilts her head and asks why he hasn't used his own yet. Akira admits his level is too low to use it properly, but Amelia disagrees. She believes he's subconsciously rejecting the skill. Before Akira can answer, the black cat stirs and speaks in a calm, tired voice. He laments his defeat, brought down by a mere human and an elf, even after taking on a dragon's form. Akira freezes, stunned to hear the creature talk. The cat notices and huffs, offended. "Don't lump me in with those mindless beasts," he says, his golden eyes narrowing. "I was created by the demon lord himself, a being of superior intellect." Akira's tone hardens. "That doesn't matter. You're still finished." The cat shrugs, unbothered by his fate. "I don't care about dying," he murmurs. "But I do have a message for you, Akira. The demon lord awaits you in his castle, deep within the demon continent of Volcano." That statement jolts Akira. How does he know about me? He demands. And why does he want me to come to him? The cat gives a small, knowing smile. "The demon lord's mind is beyond your understanding. I can't say more." Then he lies down, weary. "Now end it. Do what you came here to do." Akira hesitates. "No," the cat chuckles. "Stop pretending to be noble. Humans always see demons and monsters as enemies." "Not me," Akira replies. "My only enemies are the king and his kind. You're not one of them." Amelia interjects, reminding him that the boss room door won't open unless the boss dies. Or they do. The cat agrees, amused. "So what's your plan, human? Starve to death here?" Akira folds his arms. "I don't want to kill you. You can talk. That means there's more to you than instinct. There must be another way out." Amelia's eyes light up. "There is," she recalls. "If you form a pact with him, make him your familiar, the system will stop recognizing him as a boss monster. The door will open." The cat bursts out laughing. "That's impossible. Only a skilled mage with absolute mana control could manage that ritual. He doesn't have it." Amelia smirks. "You're wrong. Akira already detached his mana during your fight. Even the first hero struggled with that. He surpassed the limit." Akira raises an eyebrow. "What happens if I fail?" The cat's tone darkens. Then one of us dies. Or both. Akira doesn't flinch. I'll take that risk. The cat blinks, baffled. You're insane. Fine, do it. I don't care anymore. His apathy angers Akira. You really don't care if you live or die? Living brings no joy, the cat replies flatly. Then I'll change that, Akira says. But first, how do I start? Amelia explains softly. Give him a new name. Akira studies the cat's dark fur, sleek as midnight. Your name is Night, he says. The cat doesn't react. Amelia nods toward the next step. Now pour your mana into his paw. Once you start, there's no going back. Akira presses his hand to Night's paw and channels his mana. Instantly, a surge of energy slams into him, drowning his senses. His vision twists, and suddenly he's falling through flames. Below, a burning city screams in chaos. Night stands at the center, massive and feral, tearing through anyone who moves. Night, stop. Akira yells. But the cat attacks, his claws dripping with dark mana. Pain sears through Akira's body, both in the dream and the real world. Night's voice echoes. Kill me, Akira. It's the only way out. Akira refuses. I won't. Night lunges again. His claws slash deep, and Akira's blood spills. Gritting his teeth, Akira rushes forward. But instead of dodging, he lets the claws pierce him. Night's eyes widen. What the hell are you doing? I told you, Akira gasps. I don't want to kill you. You don't want to kill anyone either. Night growls. I'm a monster. My instincts. Then don't fight them alone. Akira interrupts, gripping his claws. I'll watch over you. You're not alone anymore. The burning city flickers. Light seeps into the dreamscape as the darkness fades. Night shrinks back to his smaller form and rests in Akira's arms, purring faintly. The rising sun paints the world in peace. The first warmth Night has felt in ages. When Akira opens his eyes, the ritual is complete. A golden mark glows on his hand, mirrored by a golden sigil on Night's forehead. Amelia smiles in relief. It worked. Your souls are linked. Night stretches and looks at his new master. Fine, he says with a small grin. Let's see how far you'll go, human. He bows. I swear my life to your service. Amelia introduces herself, and Night nods respectfully. Then you have my respect too, companion of my master. A magic circle appears beneath them, the sign of the boss's defeat. Akira glances at it, thoughtful. We could move to the next floor now, but you're wounded. Night shakes his head. The door will stay open. No need to rush. Amelia suggests they rest and learn more about each other. Night immediately agrees, his personality softening. Akira stifles a laugh. You changed fast. Meanwhile, Sato and his party finally reach a new land, a country founded by a hero summoned from Earth. The sight stuns them. The architecture, the streets, even the food stalls resemble old Japan. For the first time since their summoning, they feel a sense of home. As they settle in, Sato brings up their situation. We're nearly broke, he sighs. We've got a month before we're sleeping on the streets. One of the boys suggests becoming adventurers, the most practical job for them, and Sato agrees. Then he turns to strategy. We need information. Find someone who knows this world inside out. Books, scrolls, anything. A quiet voice murmurs. Maybe there's a book that tells us how to return to Earth. Sato shakes his head. Our best shot is defeating the Demon Lord. Only the king and princess might know how to send us back, and we'll need to win their favor first. He declares that once they're strong enough, they'll head for the demon continent. Asahi frowns. We shouldn't go without Akira. He's growing stronger, faster than any of us. We'll need him. Some agree. Others mutter that Akira might have killed Commander Saren. The tension builds until the girls intervene, urging calm. Everyone turns to Sato for a decision. He sighs. Asahi's right. Akira's stronger than we are. But working with him won't be easy. He's distant. We were classmates since kindergarten, and he doesn't even remember me. Shock ripples through the group. Sato continues. The legends say only the hero's holy sword can slay the demon lord. That means I need to become strong enough to do it. Until then, we train. Here, back in the dungeon, Amelia shares her story with Akira and Night. Her voice trembles as she recalls how her own sister betrayed her, driving her out of their homeland. Cornered on a cliff, she used gravity magic to survive the fall into a raging river. Wounded and weak, she was swallowed by a black slime, and then woke up in the dungeon, rescued by Akira. Akira frowns at the cruelty of her tale. Night, however, questions it. Slimes don't eat people, he says. And if one had, you'd be digested by now. Amelia shrugs. I don't know, but I'm grateful. That slime led me to you. Akira suggests she return home and reconcile with her sister, but Amelia shakes her head. It's too late. Maybe not, he says gently. Family always finds a way. I've got a sister too. Cheeky, but I'd do anything for her. Amelia and Knight glance at each other. You want to go back to your world? She asks. Yeah. Akira replies quietly. But first, there's something I have to do. He speaks of Saren, the man who taught him how to survive here. His voice tightens with rage. The king and princess had him assassinated. I'll kill them both. His aura flares, thick with killing intent. Amelia flinches. Knight steps back. Akira. Amelia shouts, pulling him out of the fury. He exhales slowly, regaining control. To ease the tension, he pulls out a glove and tosses it playfully. Knight's instincts kick in, and he chases it immediately. Akira grins. Still works. Cats are cats. Amelia laughs and joins in, petting Knight's soft fur. Knight protests. This is no time for games. Our souls are linked. If one dies, the other does too. Akira chuckles. I know. I'm just happy my familiar's a cat. Amelia sighs. I'm jealous. I love cats too. When the laughter fades, they prepare to leave. Akira asks where the teleportation circle will take them, but Knight shakes his head. No clue. Only a few demons still know how to make those. Akira smirks. Then I'll find them. Make them work for me. Amelia recalls an old tale. Pale blue circles take travelers to the place they most desire. If several people step in, it reacts to one person's wish, she warns. Akira nods. That could be a problem. Amelia smiles softly. I don't care where it takes us, as long as it's with you. He doesn't answer. His thoughts drift to his family, then to his vengeance. One must wait for the other. As they step into the circle, light engulfs them. When it fades, they find themselves in a vast forest beneath a towering, luminous tree. Amelia's eyes widen in shock. Knight identifies it instantly, the world tree. Before they can process it, an arrow whistles through the air. Akira reacts on instinct, pulling Amelia aside just in time. He deflects the next arrow with his dagger, dashes forward, and tackles the archer to the ground. Amelia gasps. Liam. The elf glares at her. Traitor. Run while you still can. Akira knocks him unconscious, but it's too late. The forest rustles, and they're surrounded. At the front stands Amelia's sister, Kilika, bow in hand and fury in her eyes. So, Kilika says coldly, You've returned, dear sister. Then die where you stand. In a flashback, Amelia goes out for a walk and ends up watching Rose train with the knights. She's impressed when Rose manages to disarm all of them, but her attendant reminds her that she's the one who'll be leading them one day. However, things soon take a turn when her fiancé, Liam, suddenly decides to call off their engagement. Rose tells Amelia it's because she's a child of Blight, and before long, Amelia finds herself accused of an unforgivable sin. Back in the present, Akira wonders what Amelia could have done. Rose steps forward and claims that Amelia poisoned her, though Amelia insists she only gave her a potion, not knowing it was tainted. Rose demands Akira hand Amelia over, using her mesmerize skill to control him, but Amelia gets furious and tells her sister to lift the spell so Akira can choose for himself. Rose freezes, surprised to see Amelia angry for the first time. Yet Akira reveals that he was never affected. Yoru explains that the skill doesn't work on anyone above Rose's level. Rose refuses to believe Akira is stronger than her, but he calmly tells her to drop the false charges, knowing Amelia isn't the type to lie or deceive. Instead, Rose orders the other elves to attack. Akira gets ready to fight, but before anyone moves, the king appears and commands them to stop. Rose is shocked since he was supposed to be away, and he immediately asks what's going on. The other elves try to defend her, claiming Amelia committed a crime, but the king quickly realizes they've all been charmed by Rose's mesmerize. He orders her to release them. Turning to Amelia, the king promises to make things right, though he tells Akira to leave. Amelia protests, saying Akira was the one who saved her, but the king insists that outsiders are forbidden in their realm. When Amelia offers to leave with him, he forbids it, reminding her that she's the one destined to succeed him. Akira steps in, saying Amelia should decide for herself, even going as far as to threaten the king. The king recalls that Akira once defeated Liam and challenges him to a duel, declaring that whoever wins will decide Amelia's fate. He chooses Rose to fight in his place and arranges for the battle to be held before the holy tree. As they walk there, Amelia apologizes for dragging Akira into the mess, but he says it was his own choice. Curious, he asks why they call her a child of Blight. Amelia explains that in ancient legends, twins born with one looking different from their parents were believed to bring calamity to the land. Yoru adds that the legend was dismissed long ago as mere superstition, assuming Rose used it out of jealousy. Akira smiles, saying he finds Amelia's hair beautiful. When they reach the holy tree, Akira chooses not to conceal his presence so everyone can witness his victory. Amelia warns him that Rose is the strongest swordsman among the elves, which surprises him to hear her praise her so much. Amelia simply says that despite everything, Rose is still her precious little sister. As the duel begins, Rose is shocked that Akira doesn't draw his sword. He calmly tells her he doesn't want to kill her by accident. The king gives the signal, and Rose immediately attacks. Akira dodges her strikes with ease and pushes her back. Feeling mocked, Rose infuses her blade with wind magic and unleashes a powerful blast, but Akira swiftly evades it. He closes the distance, sweeps her legs, and knocks her to the ground, asking if she's had enough. He tells her Amelia still believes in her and hopes they can make peace, but Rose yells that Amelia stole everything from her. She charges again, forcing Akira to retreat, yet her magic begins spiraling out of control. Akira orders Yoru to protect Amelia. Another flashback reveals Rose admiring Amelia's hair when they were younger. But everything changed when Amelia's class was revealed to be a legendary spirit medium. She became the center of attention, while Rose was forgotten. Desperate, Rose vowed to take back what was hers. Amelia begs her to stop, and Liam hands her a sacred branch of the holy tree to help. Using it, Amelia purifies the area, freeing everyone from Rose's control. Realizing she's lost, Rose prepares one final strike. Akira sees that dodging would let the attack hit the people behind him, so he activates his shadow magic and devours the wind itself. The darkness threatens to consume Rose too, but Akira pulls it back just in time, and it coats his own body instead. She refuses to accept defeat and charges again, but Akira blocks her and sends her flying. Shaken, Rose imagines Amelia and Liam laughing at her downfall. Amelia assures her that Liam was never under her spell, but Rose doesn't believe it, insisting Amelia punish her however she wishes. That's when the king steps in, confessing that it was he who erased Rose's memories. He admits Amelia never took anything from her. Giving her memories back, he reveals that Rose once sought strength to protect everyone. She ventured into a dungeon where a mysterious figure handed her an orb that lured monsters, promising it would make her stronger. But when she used it, too many monsters appeared. Overwhelmed, she tried to escape, yet the monsters followed her outside, something that should have been impossible. Determined to protect the town, Rose stood her ground, and Liam rushed in with his knights to help, only to be fatally stabbed by a goblin. Overcome by despair, Rose lost herself in guilt. To save her sanity, the king erased her memories. Amelia, however, created resurrection magic and brought Liam back. But after that, Rose became distant, believing everyone was pitying her. The king explains that hiding the truth only built a wall between them. His plan was to let her grow stronger through the duel before revealing everything, but he adds that when Liam was revived, a leaf from the holy tree fused with his body, making him immune to Rose's mesmerize. He had hoped this would help them reconcile, but instead, Amelia was exiled. Realizing her mistakes, Rose breaks down, blaming herself for turning against the sister who always cared for her. Amelia comforts her, calling her kind and forgiving. At last, the sisters make peace. Later, a feast is held, and Akira reminds the king that he technically won the duel, meaning Amelia is free to do as she pleases. The king asks where Akira plans to go next, and he replies that Yoru mentioned the Beastmen continent, a place known for its craftsmanship and weapons. Amelia immediately decides to go with him, no matter where he ends up. Meanwhile, aboard a ship, Tsukasa and the others sail toward the same continent. Tsukasa apologizes to Aishishur for not waiting for Akira, but he explains that their goal is the same, to enhance their weapons. And just like that, their paths are set to cross again. The next day, Amelia says goodbye to her sister after finally resolving their differences. Even Akira wishes Liam the best, though he gets embarrassed when the king mentions that everyone already knows who he truly loves, and yet, no one holds it against him. The king then announces that he'll send soldiers to escort them, since several disappearances have been reported near the coast. But when Akira sees that everyone's eager to join, he tells them it's not necessary. A few hours later, as they travel by carriage, Akira chats with Knight, surprised that he didn't say a word in front of the king. Knight simply replies that he didn't want to cause any more problems than he already has. Meanwhile, Akira asks if acting that way might bring him trouble with the Demon King, since he's certain the Demon King can see through Knight's eyes. Knight confirms it, but adds that he's now sworn loyalty to Akira and that the Demon King himself has shown interest in meeting him, so there's no need to worry. Akira then says that if they ever have to fight the Demon King, he believes things will turn out differently. But Amelia, ever the optimist, says she could probably get along well with him, and Knight agrees. since the Demon King likely became curious after seeing Akira's shadow technique against Kalika, a power few can control. Akira admits it was mostly improvised, but before they can say more, he senses hostile presences nearby and orders the carriage to stop immediately. They spot a group of bandits ahead, threatening to kill the girl they're holding if anyone moves. But in a flash, Akira uses his stealth skill to strike them down unseen, leaving the bandits unconscious on the ground. A few minutes later, they subdue the rest and free the girl. Akira mentions overhearing that the bandits plan to deliver the princess to someone named Gran. One of the guards confesses that a noble from the Beastkin territory might be involved. Akira assures the others they can reach the port safely without further protection. Later, when they arrive at the port, Akira reminds everyone to keep training once they reach land. Knight mentions there's a labyrinth near their next destination, though it'll take days before they can return to the mainland, so they should rest first. Amelia, thrilled to be on a ship for the first time, looks forward to spending romantic moments with Akira. But to her disappointment, he sits down to read the books the king had given him to learn more about the kingdom, leaving her frustrated as her romantic hopes fade away. After several days, they finally reach the port of Uruk. Akira observes how humans live there and starts to understand how things work on this continent. But while walking through an alley, 3 beastmen block their path and order him to hand over the elf. Akira tells Amelia not to move and steps forward. The beastmen mock him for being a human trying to act brave, and Akira quickly realizes that humans are despised in this land. Without hesitation, he uses his shadow magic to blind them, allowing the group to escape without a fight. Knight praises his master as they move through the city, but Amelia notices that all the beastmen seem to fear Knight. He explains that black cats are hated here because of something that happened long ago. After a while, they find an inn. Amelia blushes when she notices there's only one bed and suggests that one bed is enough for 2. But Akira insists it's unnecessary. Knight laughs and says he'll give them privacy since he has someone important to meet, teasing Akira that a real man shouldn't waste opportunities like this, leaving him flustered. Later, when Amelia goes to shower, Akira pretends to be asleep. She blushes, lies down beside him, and wishes him a good rest while he lies there, wide awake and awkward. The next morning, Knight wakes them up, teasing that they must have had an interesting night. Before they can respond, he tells them to get ready because a guest is about to arrive. Moments later, a man named Chrome appears, whom Knight introduces as the greatest blacksmith on the continent, and possibly the world. Chrome says he couldn't ignore a request from the nightmare of Adoria. Akira thanks him for coming and introduces himself. Chrome examines Akira's katana, saying it's been overstrained in the labyrinth, though he can repair it depending on the materials and payment. Akira promises to gather everything needed and also requests throwing weapons, which surprises Chrome, who realizes Akira is an assassin. Despite his skill, Chrome calls him immature and hopes he won't damage the new weapons. Amelia gets irritated by his tone, but Knight explains that Chrome used to be part of the hero's party and is a veteran fighter. Chrome leaves a list of materials and takes the sword, telling them to find him once they've gathered what he needs. Knight assures Akira that Chrome is the best and most reliable smith alive. When Akira asks how they'll get the money, Knight suggests exploring the city's labyrinth and selling any extra materials. Amelia then says she'll go talk with Chrome, and Akira agrees but tells Knight to follow her discreetly for safety while he investigates the labyrinth. Meanwhile, Amelia speaks with Chrome, saying she knows the hero's last mission failed. They never defeated the Demon King, and only the hero and a beastman survived. Chrome apologizes, explaining there was an elf in the party who didn't make it. Amelia says she's not here to blame him, but she wants him to train her to fight. Chrome refuses, saying none of his apprentices ever survived his training. They all broke. He also reminds Knight, whom he calls the Nightmare of Adoria, that he only takes blacksmithing requests. Knight corrects him, saying Amelia asked on her own, and not to call him by that name. Amelia then asks why he's called that, since Akira had given him the name Knight. Knight explains it all started about 100 years ago in Adoria, the most prosperous city on the continent. The Demon King sent him there to cause chaos so the beastmen would flee, giving the Demon King more territory. But Knight lost control of his demonic instincts, went berserk, and destroyed almost the entire city. That's why the beastmen call him the Nightmare of Adoria and fear black cats to this day. Akira overhears everything through their telepathic link, realizing this was the vision he saw when they formed their pact. Knight tells Chrome that he's not the same as before. Now he's a familiar serving Akira, and unlike the past, he fears dying before fulfilling his purpose. Chrome listens in silence, then admits he holds no grudge. After all, when he returned from the hero's battle, He visited his sister's grave, where Knight had once offered his life so Chrome could take revenge. But Chrome refused, saying Knight was only a tool of the Demon King and not the one who killed his sister. The real killer was a noble of their own race named Graham, who slaughtered others while trying to flee the city. Chrome never forgot that name. Amelia asks if he ever got his revenge, but Chrome says no, because, over time, he realized his sister wouldn't have wanted him to follow a path of hatred. Amelia sympathizes, saying she understands that feeling, imagining what her sister would think just to escape her own guilt. Her words anger Chrome, but she admits it's because she once did the same, hiding behind her sister to avoid her real feelings until Akira made her face them. Chrome says nothing for a moment, then tells her to leave for the day, and she does. Meanwhile, Akira reaches the labyrinth, but before he can enter, a massive explosion shakes the ground. Powerful magic bursts out of the entrance, followed by waves of monsters. Amelia and Knight rush to protect nearby civilians. Confused, Amelia fights back with all her strength until a familiar voice calls her name. It's Orin, the man who once deceived her sister. He introduces himself properly, saying the Demon King ordered him to spare her life, though he'll leave her unconscious for now. Moments later, Knight informs Akira through telepathy that a demon has taken Amelia. Furious, Akira rushes into the labyrinth, picks up a fallen sword, and cuts down every monster in sight. Knight apologizes for failing to protect her, but Akira, consumed by rage, says he'll destroy that power no matter what. He orders Knight to get far away, then unleashes his shadow magic, absorbing all the demonic energy and monsters around him. The surge is so intense it causes him unbearable pain, but he doesn't stop. After absorbing everything in his path, the power overwhelms him, and he collapses unconscious, his shadow flickering in silence. Knight watches from the sky as Akira suddenly collapses. Before he can even react, the system's voice explains that Akira has drained more mana than his body can handle. Healing shadow magic automatically kicks in, wrapping him in dark mist that glows faintly as it repairs the damage. Knight just hovers there, stunned, watching the impossible happen right before his eyes. A full day later, Akira jolts awake in Crow's house, completely unaware of how much time has passed. When Knight tells him he was out cold for more than a day, Akira's first instinct isn't to rest, it's to move. He rushes downstairs to thank Crow for the bed and instantly asks for the bill, because that's just how his mind works. But Crow reminds him there's a far bigger issue at hand. Amelia's been missing for over a day, and by now, she could already be in the Demon Continent. Akira doesn't care. He's ready to storm the Demon Lord's castle if he has to. Crow tries to calm him down, but Akira insists he's calm, even though he's clearly not. The blacksmith sighs and tells him that calm people don't forget their weapons. Akira's about to yell that his sword's still being repaired when Crow gestures to the table, where Akira's blade has been reforged into 2 sleek daggers. Shorter, lighter, and perfect for an assassin. Crow even covered the repair costs, but warns him to pay back the debt later, and receives one last gift, a mysterious ring once forged by one of the legendary heroes. The ring bears the words, "I will lead you everywhere." Akira slips it on, and instantly, a beam of light shoots out, pointing straight toward the dungeon. Crow remarks that the demons haven't taken Amelia across the border yet, and Akira wastes no time. He jumps on a Knight's back and takes off. Knight reminds him not to be reckless this time, and Akira admits he'll try, though they both know he won't. Meanwhile, in a dark dungeon, Amelia lies chained and exhausted. A cheerful demon named Orim keeps her company, talking far too much for someone guarding a prisoner. He reveals that he's been experimenting with spells meant to control monsters, but on her, the magic only left her paralyzed. It fascinates him. Since he's only a 3rd-grade demon, he can't teleport, so he's waiting for his boss to come pick her up. Until then, he's content chatting with his captive, claiming he won't hurt her because she needs to be in perfect condition when delivered to the Demon Lord. Back outside, Akira's ring keeps glowing brighter, guiding him straight to the dungeon. Just then, a hooded figure appears, a girl insisting she wants to help rescue Amelia. Akira recognizes her as the stalker who had been tailing them earlier and immediately grabs her, demanding answers. She introduces herself as Leah, the first princess of the Beast Folk Nation, and explains her tracking skill led her here. She claims she's been investigating the demons' movements after hearing they were targeting Amelia. Akira's suspicious until Knight confirms she's telling the truth. Still, Akira tests her with his World Eye skill, learning that she's being honest. When he asks about her spirit barrier ability, Leah admits she can cast barriers on moving targets, a rare and valuable trait. That alone earns her a spot on the rescue team. She also reveals that the Demon Lord is after Amelia's resurrection magic. Shocking Akira, he immediately calls Knight to move out, bringing Leah along despite his doubts. Back in the dungeon, Amelia questions Orum's motives. Why would demons want resurrection magic when they're already near immortal? Orum shrugs, saying he doesn't see the point either. It's slow, limited, and can't revive someone long dead. Yet he casually mentions that once he kills Akira, Amelia won't be able to bring him back anyway, since she already used the spell on herself. The way he says it, like he's discussing the weather, sends chills down her spine. On their way to the dungeon, Akira and Leah talk more. She reveals that her village was wiped out by a modified black slime, and that her family was likely used as a human sacrifice in the same ritual that summoned Akira to this world. Despite that, she doesn't hold any grudges against him, only against the king and princess behind it all. Akira admits his own hatred toward them, realizing they may have far darker motives than the supposed war against demons. Knight joins in, explaining that demons haven't invaded anyone for a century. The first demon lord was only branded evil because other races pushed him to the barren continent. Later, a vengeful human killed a demon lord's wife, sparking another cycle of hatred. Akira listens quietly but promises that if the demon lord truly ordered Amelia's kidnapping, he'll make him pay, though he also agrees not all demons are the same. Knight explains that every floor must be cleared of monsters before moving deeper. Akira groans, deciding to speed things up with shadow magic. But Knight warns he'll exhaust himself too soon and proposes another way. He'll handle the smaller monsters while Akira conserves his strength. The catch? Knight might lose control if he fights too hard. Akira tells him not to worry. Knight transforms into his massive, three-headed form, unleashing waves of fire that wipe out hordes of monsters. The walls shake as they advance, and for a moment, Knight starts to lose himself to the bloodlust. Akira keeps calling his name, grounding him until he regains control. The duo tear through each level until they reach the chamber where Amelia is held. Orum smirks at the sight, recognizing the demon lord's right-hand beast and the assassin from the human world. Knight apologizes to Akira, saying he can't help for a while after that transformation. Akira doesn't care. He's focused solely on freeing Amelia. Orum summons his spear and mocks him, promising a quick death. Akira draws his daggers, declaring the opposite. The fight erupts instantly. Akira darts in and out of the shadows, but Orum blocks every strike with ease. He toys with him, slashing Akira's leg and laughing as the human grows weaker. Then, just when it looks hopeless, Akira activates his shadow magic. The blood he spilled on the ground begins to move, spawning beasts from the darkness itself, wolves made of his own mana. They swarm Orum, biting and clawing, giving Akira a precious opening. He lunges forward, slashing Orum's arm and leg, forcing the demon to drop his weapon. But victory doesn't come easy. Akira's mana is nearly gone, and Orum plays a sinister tune on his flute, summoning hordes of monsters to his aid. They charge up a combined attack, ready to erase Akira on the spot. Leah throws herself forward, casting her spirit barrier with everything she has. The barrier absorbs the blast, then reflects it right back, blowing the monsters apart before she collapses from exhaustion. Amelia, finally able to move again, rushes to Akira's side. Orum, bleeding and half-kneeling, mocks Akira for hesitating to kill him. Akira's hand trembles. He still can't bring himself to strike down something that looks so human. And just when he's about to decide, the air distorts. A dark portal opens, and the presence that steps through makes the entire dungeon tremble. Orum's superior, a second-grade demon, has arrived, furious that his subordinate has failed. Now Akira, Amelia, Knight, and Leah stand frozen, staring at a new enemy whose power dwarfs everything they've faced so far. The real battle is just beginning. That wraps up today's recap. What do you think about this episode? Drop your thought in the comment. And if you liked this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss the next one.